up? Come on in. How's it going? This is Dion from Anberlin, bass player. We're out here on tour celebrating 20 years of Nevertake Friendship Personal. Tonight we are in Chicago, Illinois, one of our favorite cities in the world to play. And welcome to our bus. So basically this is where we hang out most of the day. If we're not in the venue, this is the front lounge with we got a small kitchen here with not a lot of room, but it's got the essentials. We have all of our coffee and everything we need, liquid IV, which is important. Okay, so for those who just want a quick cup, we got our Keurig here, but we have a lot of serious coffee drinkers on this, so we pretty much have a full pot going at all times. We've got our Bonavita coffee maker, which has been with us for years. So we pretty much have a full pot in there the entire first 3/4 of a day. We have a large bag of coffee down here, and then even more coffee up there. We drink a lot of coffee. It's one of those things that when you're gone all the time, you just want to feel something homemade at home, and coffee is a very easy way to achieve that. So we like going from city to city, going to different coffee roasters and coffee shops and picking up new bags and things like that. So that's a big part of this area. So I mean, this area is also, we have a vast array of different mugs and everything. Here we have our great punk rock museum tumblers that we picked up just a few stops ago on this tour. It's a great place. I highly suggest you check it out. But other than that, yeah, everybody's got their coffee mugs, their tumblers, everything. We've got a few wine glasses back there for anybody that wants to sip and be fancy. So yeah, we got pretty much everything we need in this area for anything we want. Plates, silverware, everything down here, snacks, all that. So we're pretty well set and stocked, and like I said, this is our home, so we want to make it feel like home. So everybody kind of brings their own little touches, and it helps a lot when you're gone for 30+ days. So we have a vast array of sunglasses here, and I don't know whose are whose because I don't keep mine here. Mine are always in my bunk, so I don't lose them, because if I left them out here, I would lose track of them very quickly. One of my magical talents is misplacing things constantly. So I put all my stuff in the same spot every single day, but everybody else hangs their stuff here. So our singer Maddie actually purchased these nice little sunglass hangers on Amazon at the beginning of the tour, and I didn't even know what it was. I just walked up, saw a plastic thing. I was like, is that for forks? What is that? And then people started hanging their sunglasses, like, oh, I'm an idiot. So one of the big no-nos you can do on a bus is hang your sunglasses through these little strings, because what will eventually happen is they'll snag this, break it, and then you can't put your shades up, and then it's just dark on the bus all day. So it's nice to hang your glasses somewhere else other than there, so you don't want to break your blinds, and you also don't want your bus driver to yell at you because he's driving 8 to 10 hours a night, and you don't want to piss him off. And then over here, a big essential part for us as a band is our TV, and we've got an Apple TV with Wi-Fi, which is great. In the days when we first started touring on a bus, everybody just had all their DVD books, and it was a nightmare to keep track of. You just had like dictionary-sized DVD books everywhere. It's kind of nice now. You can just click on something and go. We have quite a few just huge movie buffs on the bus. Right now they're on a horror movie binge. I'm not a big horror genre fan, so I don't really partake. At midnight, I don't want to start a movie that's going to keep me up all night and disturb me. So I usually walk away. But I think the most recent one that was watched was the movie Talk to Me. I don't know if you've seen that, but it is very disturbing. I checked out about 5 minutes into that movie. But yeah, this is a way when we're day off, or we're just kind of burnt out and everybody wants to relax. We have a long drive at the end of the night. We just kind of all congregate up here, or a few people congregate up here and put on a movie that everybody kind of agrees on. Or a lot of times it's our drummer Nate and our guitarist Joey are kind of leading the charge on that. They're like, we should watch this movie, and everybody's like, yeah, and I'm just like, I'm going to bed. But yeah, if it's something I'm really into, I'll watch it though. It's great. But yeah, like I said, in the early days of touring, it was all DVDs. Now it's kind of awesome. You got Apple TV up there. You got DirecTV. You got an Xbox. If we do want to watch any DVDs, like I am a huge Star Wars fan. I bring my theatrical versions of Star Wars on every tour. And so the original trilogy gets watched once or twice or 3 times or 10 times every tour by me. And if that makes everybody mad, I don't care, because it makes me happy. All right, a big part of a tour bus is storage. It's hard to come by. You get new stuff every day on your rider, which is your hospitality budget. It's what the venue brings to you, food-wise, drink-wise. And then you have people buying food, you have people buying things constantly. So if you'll notice, there's just little cabinets everywhere on this bus. So up here we have a nice cooler with a ton of different drinks in it. That'll get filled with ice at some point, I'm sure. If not, I'm gonna fire Rob, our tour manager. Just kidding, I don't care about ice. Then up here, I have a ton of snacks that somebody has stuffed up here. It's just, you kind of do your best to keep everything clear and clean. Again, more snacks up here. Nice Stormtrooper decanter that my friend Nicole gave me, which I'm stoked about. Yeah, and then, like you said, drawers. This is probably a mess, but I'm going to open it anyways. Got paper plates, bread, peanut butter, cups, coffee, flatware, everything. Everything you need. If you want to go on a spelunking expedition, you dive into that cabinet and you find what you need. So yeah, it's like I said, it's a big thing. And then this is one of the most important drawers here. Water. We drink so many gallons of this a day because we learned very early on that if you're not hydrated every night on stage, then you feel like absolute crap, and then you can't do a good show, and then you get sick, and that ruins everything. So if you ask anybody on this tour what the most important thing in this bus is, they're going to say water. It's a commodity. If there were 3 bottles in there would be a brawl over those 3 bottles. Over here is kind of it's kind of the most coveted seat in the house. It's a 1 seat. It's kind of the one place where you don't have to sit near anybody. It's kind of a zen spot. It's also where our tour manager does a lot of his business during the day with his laptop and everything. But our drummer Nate picked up a nice plant to brighten up the place a few weeks ago, and to our credit, we have not killed it yet, which is awesome. And then we have this nice candle, which was the Kaysen candles, which was started by our merch guy, Brent Kaysen, and he brought a case of these on the bus at the beginning of the tour, which we're so stoked about because it keeps the bus smelling really nice, really clean. Got some fake flowers here to brighten the mood more. This was the first plant we picked up on the tour for fun. I picked it up at an Aldi, and it's called Succulent. I named it Succubus just for fun because that was the dumbest, quickest thing I could think of. All right, this is probably going to be an absolute mess, but we'll start with the outside. So we have collected, actually I'm going to fix this. We have collected a few notes from some of our fans. So we are lucky enough that we've been doing this long enough where our fans now have kids. So these are a couple of handwritten notes and signs that our friends and our fans' kids have made for us, which obviously, if this isn't proof that when we take something and say we're going to keep it, this is proof. We're not just kidding. We're not going to throw it away the moment we walk off stage. But so just like at home, we have our we have notes on the fridge. We'll start with the freezer because it's probably not as much of a shit show, but we have just a bunch of frozen food up here to kind of keep us going. Snake River Farms at the beginning of this tour sent us a lot of meat to cook because we are big fans of cooking on days off. I usually break out our Traeger and smoke something like a pork loin or a bunch of chicken thighs or a big hunk of beef and make like street tacos or something like that. So that's what this bag is. I'd pull it out, but that would just be annoying. So this is our freezer. We have a bunch of hot dogs, which we will probably cook on our next day off in a few days. Other than that, we eat like children, and we have microwave sandwiches and Uncrustables, which, by the way, for anybody out there, a toasted Uncrustable is the way to go. Throw it in the toaster, thank me later. This is our our mess of a fridge. We get a lot, like I said, we got a lot of people buying food and everything every day, so this is a constant rotation of drinks and food, lunch meats, everything. People put their leftovers in there. I'm going to close it because it stresses me out. I'm a little OCD, so I don't use it that often. And And then moving forward, the most sanitary thing to do by a refrigerator is have your bathroom. It's very small, but it's very functional. It is what it is. You do your business in there. Never number two. That's a huge rule. Huge no-no. And then moving on, this is Bunk Alley, where everybody sleeps. It's the catacombs of the tour bus. Since I'm the one doing this tour, I would show you my bunk only, but ta-da! We sleep in coffins because we are vampires. One thing I've had from day one, even when we started touring in vans, is I've always brought my pillow from home with me. It makes me feel good, makes me feel like a little, like I said, a little bit of home when you're gone for a while is an important thing. So this is something that I've carried on since then. So everybody tries to keep their stuff in their bunks, keep everything clean. You know, we've got 10 people on here at the moment, so you don't want to be tripping over other people's shoes. You don't want people tripping over your shoes, or you don't want people stepping on your jacket or whatever. So we try to keep everything clean. At the end of the night, we just do this, and we're locked inside, nice and neat, cozy, and you sleep like a champion, and it's fantastic. So our first tour that we did on a tour bus was in 2005. We did a tour with our good friends and Story of the Year, and our record label was really wanting us to do the tour, but we were afraid that we would essentially not make money, so they helped us get a tour bus, which was very fantastic at Tooth and Nail Records at the time. I was a van driver for our band for a long time. I would take the after show shift for 3 to 5 hours, switch with our tour manager or merch guy or whoever else, and then, you know, if we had to drive overnight, so be it. So the first time I got on a bus, I almost cried. It was, the fact that I didn't have to drive after a show was amazing. I don't know why, but I just picked this bunk, and I've been in this bunk for 20 years. It wasn't until about a year ago that I found this was apparently the tour manager bunk in a lot of buses, because a lot of the older buses always had a phone in the bunk, so you could call the driver from your bunk if you needed to ask him questions rather than get up out of your bunk. Which also made me ask the question, why did I have a phone in my bunk all those years? Now I know the answer. It took almost 20 years to learn that, but I learned it. So I think a lot of it is dibs, shotgun, whatever you want to call it. Those of us in the band that have been here the longest pretty much occupy all the middle bunks, because that's usually the most coveted bunk by most people. And then everybody else kind of picks and chooses their bunks in succession. We've had a pretty solid crew for a couple years now, so everybody kind of just knows where they're going, which is great. There's no questions about whose bunk is whose. Everybody just kind of gets on the bus, they throw their bag in there, and if there's a bag in there, you just throw it out. I'm just kidding. We would not be that mean. We would throw it outside of the bus. Moving on, shoe rack again. Space is a very big thing. So finding what to do with 10 people's shoes. If everybody only had one pair of shoes, it'd be different. But everybody has at least 2, if not 3 pairs of shoes. If you're Matty Mullins, you have 20 pairs of shoes. So this is a very kind of like space-saving thing that my wife actually found randomly right before this tour for our own bedroom. So the day that we showed up and there was not enough shoe storage, I ordered this from a store and went and picked it up. It's about Walmart. There's a screw coming out. I picked this up at a store on our first day off, and we hung this on the door, and it's been a lifesaver because there are not a lot of drawers and space for shoes on here. So like I said, we have 10 people, so it's a lot of shoes. You got everybody has 2 feet, which means you have double the amount of shoes. So this is shoe storage. It's boring, but it is functional, and I love it. Moving forward or backwards, the final stop is the back lounge, which is kind of the for a lot of bands, this is a big hangout spot. For us, this is probably the most functional spot on the bus. Our singer, Matty, pretty much alters all of his clothes himself, so he has a sewing machine back here. So he has his own little shop where he just comes back and he'll fix his own jeans, his shirts, whatever. it's kind of awesome because there's clothes that I've bought that I'm like, this fits a little funky. He's like, I'll fix that for you, and it's awesome. It's like having your own personal tailor in the band, and I love it. Normally on the other side of this, there is a laptop set up with a microphone. Matty tracks a lot of vocals back here. He does a lot of stuff. We will listen to demos, things like that. This back lounge for us is kind of a closet slash office. As you can see, there's clothes hanging up and things like that. Again, we still try to keep everything neat. We've got organizers everywhere. It's not really a hangout spot. It's if someone needs to do work during the day, or if they need to get away, break on a conference call or something like that. That's kind of what our space is back here, because otherwise it's kind of small. So if more people try to hang out back here, I would be claustrophobic if I was back here with more than 2 people. So yeah, this is kind of our workshop and our put everything away area, because we got a row of closets back here with a ton of clothes hanging up in them, shoes, even more shoe storage. I'm not going to show you because I don't know what it looks like right now, but yeah, that's the whole bus. That's 45 feet of tubing that we live in on tour. And if you aren't with a good group of guys that you get along with and that you enjoy, it can be a very small space. But if you are with a good group of friends on tour, it is home, and that's our house. It's our tour bus. All right, this has been Dion from Anberlin. If you want to see where we're coming to your town, go to @Anberlin at Instagram, Facebook, go to anberlin.com. That's probably the best place to go because we're constantly updating our tour dates there. We have a show to do tonight, so I'm going to kindly ask you to leave now. It's been great. It's been fun. Gotta rock.